I've got it.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Bet.
It is literally nasty out here. So I got stuck at the Cousie's house and started downpouring over there. So we waited there an hour, 2 hours longer than I planned. And now we're inching our way back and water, broken down cars everywhere. So it's unbelievable. So
Well, it's
yesterday was 26 inches of rain yesterday, and today it's dumping down again. So anyway, thank you so much. And just whatever you do, just go ahead and handle the like we discussed. So do your thing, my friend.
all righty. I'm on it.
Okay, appreciate it. I'm logging off.
Okay, take care.
Actually, I may stay on, but I'm getting gas now.
All righty. Hello, James.
Hello, Jeff. How you doing?
Tremendous. Good to see you here.
Yeah, good to see. I tried to get on the other one last night, but I couldn't get on. What time do they meet?
Really interesting.
What time do they meet?
Last night it would have been 8 o'clock your time.
Oh man, that's probably why I missed them.
Yeah. We had a really good discussion about the probiotics. So it was, yep. So I don't know who else is going to be joining us. I know we're streaming live on YouTube, and there will be others that join us there. But I'm going to be hosting tonight's call. Jonathan is stuck in traffic and lots of rain coming down in Florida, like 24 inches yesterday and again today.
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
We'll let a few more people in and then get underway tonight with the brain and micronutrients. We have some fun things to share tonight. So we'll get a few more people here. Great to have you, Virginia. It's just you and James and myself, and we got a few others that are going to be joining us here. We'll get underway about 3 minutes after the hour, and I'll just watch for individuals as they come on in. So great to have you here, Stephanie. We're going to be underway in about 3 minutes. Continuing on, part 3 of the brain and micronutrients. So exciting. You always look so nice, James. Got the
Oh,
tie on
thank
and
you.
everything? Yep.
I got my meeting tonight,
Okay.
so I think I get a hair start.
Awesome. Well, that's yes, you want to make sure that it's just high speed, low drag. Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I
that's
think
awesome.
you made a change addition to the collagen.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it used to be clear like a beige. Now it's kind of darkish gray like.
It is, and it mixes a lot better. And I think is smoother, has a better taste. So you're in the new one. That's
Yeah,
that's awesome.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we've got as you come on, tell us your name and where you're joining from. Looks like we've got Shauna that just arrived, and Shannon Shaw, Stephanie, Virginia. We got a few of us that are on here, and others that are watching live on YouTube right now. If you are a subscriber to Jonathan Jones' channel and you have the little bell notification, you'll get a notification that Jonathan is streaming live. And so I can't tell from where I'm at how many people are joining us that way, but we'll be underway in just one more minute. So
My name is Shina Austin
China.
from
Okay.
Northern Virginia.
Oh, fantastic. Sorry for mispronouncing your name. I just looked at it quick. Shina. Okay. Fantastic. Great to have you here. And Shannon?
Hey, Shannon. I'm Shannon, and I'm from Covington, Louisiana.
Oh, fantastic. Great. Love the background there. Beautiful, beautiful flowers. Okay. All right. About one more minute and we will be underway tonight. So thank you for opening up your camera and sharing your faces with us as we join tonight. So one more minute. We'll let a few just as soon as people show up. We'll let them in. Oh, there's Miss Virginia. Well, her life has sure changed, and it's going to be exciting to have her with us at the family reunion. As old as she is, to have a life back and now wanting to travel and meet Dr. Prasad in person down in Cabo. So this is exciting. All right. Well, I have 3 minutes after the hour. So let's go ahead. We are already streaming live to YouTube. So let's make sure I've got everybody muted. All righty. And we are going to spotlight myself. Good evening, everybody. My name is Jeff Ashby. It is a pleasure of mine to be here covering just as backup for Jonathan Jones in the Florida area where he is at right now. 24 inches of rain yesterday. And I mean, that's it just insane as it stands, but it's raining again today. And he's on the freeway, described to me with the windshield wipers going just as quick as they could in the background. I could hear those. And he's saying, Jeff, all over the freeway, there's people that are stranded, that are broken down. They've hit puddles and their cars are submerged, and they're just, traffic has not gone anywhere. So I am grateful that that I was on Tuesday and got an idea of the direction that Jonathan was going with this 3-part series on our brains and micronutrients, and how micronutrients can affect what's going on with our brains. And so I've prepared a few things here tonight. I'm certainly not going to be able to fill Jonathan's shoes because he is so good as far as an educator and understanding, and boy, the conversations that he has with Dr. Prasad and the way he's able to elicit from Dr. Prasad the incredible dialogue that they are getting is just amazing. So grateful to have Jonathan as part of our Micro Daily family. I often say I love my Micro Daily family, and it is it's with that love that I hope you accept me stepping into and trying to fill Jonathan's shoes tonight as he is stuck on the freeway. Before we get underway, I would, however, like to make sure that we are legally protected as we get into some of our discussion here tonight. So I'm going to pull the disclaimer up here onto my screen and just follow along as I read. These statements and comments have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This information is for educational purposes only and includes information on recent advances in research on micronutrients. Engage, the micronutrient company, does not claim that our products diagnose, treat, cure, heal, or prevent any disease or injury. Engage's products do, however, address our deficiencies and provide our bodies with the nutrition we are lacking. Nothing here is intended to be a substitute for treatment or a visit to your primary healthcare provider. So that having been taken care of, we can legally discuss some of the items that we have set the platform, the stage. Jonathan mentioned on Tuesday, just 2 short days ago, we had quite a discussion on stroke and what is happening to individuals' brains. He shared a couple of videos with us, one from, I believe it was a university that is studying what's going on with the brain as it relates to the pandemic, particularly as it relates to the COVID spike protein, and then some information as to prior to any of these things happening or us being affected that way in the brain, sharing a video testimonial of a young man that my wife and I met in Austin, Texas, as Patrick shared his experiences by correcting the micronutrient deficiency that existed in his body 1 year after a stroke and the difference that he noticed in his body. So what is it that we are talking about here tonight? Where is my we are talking about micronutrients, more affectionately known as Micro Daily. I'm going to pull a science booklet up here onto the screen. I usually will hold one up in front of the camera. And I was cleaning off my desk and I cleaned it right off here with it. But you know what? I'm going to go to that science booklet and move it to the very first page. And it is this: the world's most scientifically validated micronutrient supplements. This all started with a purpose. And the purpose is this: it was made to protect and built to sustain. But it's not those people that had suffered injuries, those people who this was designed, as you can see here. It says not just to protect, but also to sustain our troops. The U.S. military asked Dr. Kedar Prasad, PhD, the world's foremost expert on micronutrition and supplementation, to develop a supplement that could provide a singular daily source of nutritional defense and nourishment for U.S. troops. Pretty amazing when we can reference that, its military background. We go into the next page and it says here, the Department of Defense reaches out to Dr. Prasad for help back in 2001. Right below the little green perfecting the micro daily formula is another paragraph I'd like to share with you as we get into tonight's discussion. It says Dr. Prasad conducted 17 lectures to military scientists and worked with Congress for 2 years to gain approval for the funding necessary to complete the scientific validation process for micro daily. So 2 years just to get the funding. And then it says 6 years and 14 clinical studies later, Dr. Prasad successfully demonstrated the Micro Daily is indeed the world's most scientifically validated supplement. So tonight, as we lean into this topic of our brains health, and the introduction of micronutrients and their significance of its role in having a healthy brain, I want to reference, and I can't pull it up onto the screen right now, but this was part of some of our original literature. When we started sharing Microdaily, it was in this form. This was military micronutrient formulation. As we opened this pack, in fact, as I sat across Jonathan's kitchen table, this is what I originally shared. This packet with them, it had been packaged differently. It was in a box that had the military on the side of it in capsules and a little blister pack. But we were still referring to it as MMF at that point, military micronutrient formulation. And so I want to go back to one of the original animal studies, and this has implications and definitely can shed some light on what the military wanted the original formula to be for and to be tested on. We reference the fruit fly study. In fact, let me just go to these studies here really quick. In our literature right now, we're referencing the fruit fly tumor study at the Ames Research Center. I often refer to it and talk about if a fruit fly is able to ingest the entire formulation and enjoy the benefits of this tumor study. I mean, it was 100% effective for the fruit flies, and they were able to ingest the entire formula. You understand how large a fruit fly is. Well, that really demonstrates that the micronutrients in Microdaily are not only micro in size and scale, but also in combination. We're really looking at the it's amazing, Dr. Prasad's understanding of the human body and what it needs. We have the rabbit radiation internal organ protection study and a couple of pictures there. But what I'd like to reference is one that we didn't have room to include with the animal studies, but I'm just going to read it right off of one of our original literature pieces. It says, see where we at. Yeah, concussions can cause inflammation, pain, poor health, and even death. A blast wave that typically causes a head concussion in humans will kill rats. But rats fed MMF for 7 days prior to such a concussive blast were completely protected with no enzymatic damage visible in the bloodstream. And this was done with the collaboration of the Naval Medical Research Center in Silver Springs, Maryland. And so, I mean, just another animal study effectively saying that by being on this product, the rats, they had Microdaily in their systems for 7 days, and then they were subjected to a concussive wave blast, an explosion, where 7 days earlier, the batch of rats that they had tested, they did the explosion and all the rats perished. Well, in this study here, 7 days of being on the Microdaily, and this was before we had Brain Boost. This was before we had any of the rest of Dr. Prasad's choice, the bundle, if you will. This was back when they were just studying it prior to it even going to the military and them, purchasing under contract through Dr. Prasad's company a lot of the product. So this is back when they were just testing it. And what did it say here? Rats fed MMF for 7 days prior to such a concussive blast were completely protected with no enzymatic damage visible in their bloodstream. So when we're talking about the brain, concussion, particularly a concussive wave blast like a grenade going off, is going to rattle the brain so much that in this case, the rats perished the first time around. Second time around, they were all protected and they couldn't even detect enzymatic changes in their blood referencing such a traumatic event. That's the significance of feeding our bodies properly. amazing. And so I wanted to pull that forward into some of the discussion that we're having tonight about the brain. I'm just wondering if there's anything else here. Here's another one, and it was once again part of our original literature, and we reference it, but it says Marine Corps personnel with traumatic brain injuries from combat were treated post facto, that's after the point, with MMF for 12 weeks. Study subjects using MMF demonstrated more rapid and complete recovery through the entire study period. Subjects also experienced better postural stability, better dynamic gait scores, and reduced dizziness handicap scores after only 4 weeks. Energy levels, exercise tolerance, and cognitive ability were also improved significantly. And this is that study that we reference right down here where it says, it's the second one down under human clinical trials. It says improved recovery from concussive injury from blasts. So just amazing that we can reference this type of real world data, and then the patents that go along with this. Just amazing. And look at Dr. Prasad's books. I know it's a little difficult to see there on your screen, particularly with the size of your screen, but down in the lower right-hand corner are some of his most recent publications. We've got dementia and memory loss right next to that, neurodegenerative disease and micronutrients. We've got neurotransplantation, CNS, neurological injury and regeneration. Look at that. It's just amazing, Dr. Prasad's life, what he has studied and what we are able to do to benefit from all of those things. Now, with the few minutes that we have left here, I would like to share a couple of videos. Jonathan referenced it, these when we were in our discussion on Tuesday night. And I'd like to pull up one that was just taken after. In fact, we were in Las Vegas at just at a studio where they had taped an interview for a news station. We stuck around afterwards and had a little, some finger foods, and just got together there with several individuals. And I held up my phone and tried to capture this lady's experience. And she kind of tells you what's going on. She had had a stroke earlier. And I think she tells us how long ago her stroke was. And pretty amazing. So let me start this video for you, okay? You know what? I forgot to pull it over. Let me play Anita's first. Actually, sorry. Oh shoot. Oh, here it is. Okay, found it. Let me pull it out, put it there, and let's see. There we go. Pull this over.
Ready? My name is Judy Hardy. I live here in Las Vegas, Nevada. 8 years ago, I had a stroke. Prior to that, I worked as a legal secretary in a law firm. And it was quite a shock to wake up in the hospital and be told that I had a stroke. It was kind of hard for me. I didn't know if I was going to live. The doctor told my mother and my daughter while I was in the hospital that I wasn't going to make it. If I would make it, that I would have to be in the rehab. But while I was in the hospital, I had a lot of prayers said in my behalf, but also I seemed to do very well in the hospital. I was in a coma for 8 days, and then I was in the hospital for another for a month. And but I would go to therapy 3 times a week, and to help me with everything. But the thing that I had the most problem with was speaking, and it was kind of hard to realize that I'll never be able to have a conversation with friends again, or whatever. And so as time went by, I was doing fine, except for still not being able to talk very well. And then my friend Darlene got me into MMF. I didn't really think I probably just wanted to have a little more energy. I didn't think it'd be anything else, that I'd be able to start speaking a lot better. And that's what it was. I actually ended up, I have a hole in my heart, and that's kind of what causes the strokes. And I've had my son, 42, my daughter, my father, my sister, anyway, friends in our family. And I've had my heart patched up, but the doctor who was, when I had the second stroke, he wanted to find out more about the first stroke. And so he went and to talk about, to read about it. And when he came back, he got up real close to me and he said, "I cannot believe that you are the person that I was just reading about. You have changed so much." And even the doctors, after I had it, they didn't believe that I was the same person that they saw in the hospital. So anyway.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. It's been a while since I have watched that one. I remember it well. And that experience, as she was talking about, I thought it was closer to 6 years, but she says 8 years prior to that. And until the microdaily, she referred to it as MMF, until the correction of the micronutrient deficiency took place, she was still having difficulty speaking. And so look at this. This was not quite a year on the product, and look at the progression. Look at how well she was able to pull her thoughts together and to communicate with us when it was that speech portion of the brain that was affected through her stroke. So amazing. I get chills thinking about what this is doing for individuals. Now, Jonathan had also referenced somebody who had a stroke 10 years earlier. And I had shared this video on one of Jonathan's calls several months ago. In fact, it was on a call where we had Dr. Prasad, and he was referencing, that and able to acknowledge some of the changes that had taken place in Anita's body because of the microdaily's ability to correct micronutrient deficiencies. And so let me just share Anita with everyone here tonight, and then I'll be back to answer any questions and kind of put a bow on it for this Thursday night. So here's Anita.
And let's see, December 18th of 04, I had an ischemic stroke in the left thalamus of the brain. It's a rare place to have a stroke. It's not a very good place to have a stroke. I came home in a wheelchair. They said I would never walk again. And I was determined that I was going to do that. So anyhow, I did all the stuff that we do, all the therapies, did it for years. Got to a certain point, but the problem with the stroke being in the left thalamus is several. First of all, I had neuropathy on one half of my body. So it started with my whole head, eyes, ears, neck, all the way down, just cut me right in half, hand, foot. And that's just terrible. All you ever feel is neuropathy, the cutting, the burning, the stabbing, and then that's your life. And they give you drugs, but it doesn't ever make it go away. It never stops. I could never wear sandals. I always had to have something thick on my foot because it hurt. The other thing that happened to me, my short-term memory loss, which was so frustrating, being it was in the left thalamus, just destroyed the short-term memory. Never had a hope of that ever coming back. I could never remember anybody's names. I couldn't, I went anywhere in the car. If I had to go the next day, doctor's appointment, wherever you go to, I had no idea where to go or where I was or what part of town I was in. That's how bad it was. I would go to any restaurant, any place, and I would always walk out of the bathroom and I could never figure out how to get back to my table. That's how short my memory was. So I struggled with that for 10 and a half years. And then I got on this in June, a year ago in June, and I started taking it, and the pain was a little bit less. After about 5 months, I thought, I'm going to try cutting back on some of the drugs, just see what happens, right? I was on amitriptyline, baclofen, Zocor, Lyrica, and meloxicam. And before MMF, I couldn't probably tell you one of those names because I couldn't remember. But so I started weaning off after about 5 months on it and just kept trying, and doggone it. I didn't feel any worse pain by weaning off, but I was starting to feel better. I wasn't so tired. And then, brain fog started going away. I mean, relatively, it's still there. I know, they know me. I know, still there, but not as bad. You didn't know me before. So it's a lot less. I now can remember which way to come out of the bathroom and come back to my room. So all of those things.
She drove herself here.
Yes. I just and then all of a sudden too, I'll just tell you real quick. Even 3 months ago, my hand uncurled for the first time. 11 and a half hours. Did you?
Yeah.
Do you remember? This pinky was always like this. This was always giving everybody the finger, and it was really strange. And all of a sudden, that just uncurled. Another thing, when you have a stroke, you really can never do a lunge. You just can't do that because your whole side goes like this. So all of a sudden, I'm able to do that kind of thing. I didn't even start understand a little bit. So anyhow,
Isn't that fun to, and she corrected us 11 and a half years earlier. So she had been dealing with these things and on that many medications, and you start going through understanding how all those different meds were affecting her, how it was happening. Nothing was really changing. It was just kind of maintaining her. How many people out there would be able to benefit from Anita's story, from the stories that we have shared today? I've got another one here. We could go and we could listen to Vicky's story, but just what really I want to impress upon you is the significance of correcting a micronutrient deficiency. So the last two videos I've shared with you are individuals that had strokes, but in completely different areas of the brain. When you've got somebody who their speech center is not like their the other center that Anita's was dealing with. So it's just, we don't have to go after a targeted approach. I share with people that the way Dr. Prasad's formulations work are a support response equation. That's how it works. So supporting the body and then looking for the body's response to that additional support. Most other things that we're familiar with that are out there in the market, the Western medicine is very, very good at going after a cause and looking for a reaction. So cause reaction versus support and response. And as we close up today, if I could share anything with you, it would be just that the microdaily has the ability to go in and just correct micronutrient deficiencies and ultimately support the body from a nutritional standpoint. And then we allow the body to respond how it chooses to respond. It's been interesting over the 10 years, though, that I've had people have a particular issue that is just top of their priority list. If I could just get rid of this shoulder discomfort, if I could just get rid of this knee that's driving me nuts, or if I could just see better, if I could just hear better, if I could just this, and they've got this list in their mind. They've already figured out what's top on that list. And when they start taking the micro daily and that first item on the list isn't affected, they say, oh, it's just, it must not be working. It must not work for me. I'm one of those individuals. And the fact the doctors have told me that I'm special. And because I'm special, you know what, these things aren't going to work. But really what's going on is we're supporting the body with the micronutrients in micro daily. And that support of the body's going to go in and work on its list. And thank goodness we can't see what our body does. Thank goodness that we can't look inside of ourselves and see the problems that are going on, or we would be freaking out ourselves. I'm just grateful that the body knows the first thing to go to work on, and the second thing to go to work on, and the third thing to go to work on. And after it starts working on a few things, we all notice that the body, when it feels supported, when it's got the nutritional foundation, sometimes it will then go in and start to release some of the toxins that have been stored up because it feels nutritionally supported. And it's like, I've got this. Okay. All right. Let's get rid of some of this junk that we've been sequestering away and holding off and pushing back and making sure that it's out there. And so we have people that are noticing weight loss after a period of time because of these toxins being released. We've noticed people that have had amazing experiences by just taking more of the micronutrients. Looking at the bottle here, this is a maintenance dose. And so you look at that, if I want to just maintain my health, I'm going to be taking 3 capsules 2 to 3 times per day. But if we're really going after something to support the body nutritionally, up the dose, take more. Dr. Prasad has suggested in certain situations, we can go as much as 3 or 4 times the dose. And so if we're 4 timesing the dose on here and it's 3 capsules, 3 times 4 is 12. Dr. Prasad has come right out and says, you can do 12. What does it say? 2 to 3 times a day. You do the math in your own head and realize that there's nothing here that's going to build up any kind of toxins. It's just support of your body. So I know we've been going here for about a half an hour. Just to finish part 3, Jonathan Jones set this up as a conversation, an educational opportunity to learn more about the brain. Tonight, we have talked about some of the original studies that were done with animals, particularly in the case that I referenced, the mice studies. We don't get a chance to talk too much about it, but in those studies, if you can recollect, a batch of rats was subjected to a concussive wave blast and all of the rats perished. They then took a next batch of rats, fed them the microdaily formula for 7 days. did the same concussive wave blast to that batch of rats, and they all survived. And so we talked about that. We talked about the significance of just correcting a micronutrient deficiency. We heard a couple of testimonials about how these ladies have bounced back and are enjoying much better lives because of just correcting a micronutrient deficiency. So let's take a few minutes here and see if there's any questions from those of you that are on tonight. The reason that I am hosting, for those of you that dropped in a little bit late, Jonathan Jones is in the Florida area, and yesterday 24 inches of rainfall, and it is still raining today. So he was stuck on the freeway behind cars, not just pileups, but people actually stalled from hitting puddles of water. And so it's just turn your news on, and you can see where Jonathan is and what he's doing. And I'm so grateful that I was able to step in and assist Jonathan tonight. This is what the Micro Daily family does. That's why I say I love my Micro Daily family, because we're here as support for each other, just like the Micro Daily supports our body. We are here as a leadership to support the educational process for those that are looking at Micro Daily, that are in investigating Engage Global. And I can see that James has his hand up already. But if there's any questions that you have for me or about the topic that we are talking about tonight, certainly feel free. James, go ahead. I'll pull you on up on the screen. You will need to unmute yourself. There you are.
My condition was similar to stroke. They thought I had a stroke, but it wasn't. It was something else. But since I've been taking the Metro Daily Hydro Brain Boost, my speech, it's not all the way back yet, but it's getting there. People say they can understand me better. I'm slowly improving. I've been on Micro Daily now for a little over a year, so I'm slowly getting better. So that's my comment.
Wow. Well, that's not just a comment, James. That's a testimony. And I know when I was thinking it was a little longer than a year when you first started coming on these calls with Jonathan, and I was going to compliment you on how well your speech is and how much easier it is to understand. And you're giving credit where credit is due. Feed your body, feed your brain with the right micronutrients, and your body's the miracle. So, wow, what a fantastic testimony, James. Thank you. Thank you for being part of our Micro Daily family. Okay, and I'm gonna mess this up, but Shania. Anyway, you're up next. You've got your microphone open now. Your hands up.
Shayna.
Shayna. Yeah, if I'd have just looked at it, give me an E in there.
I just want to, yes.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I just wanted to quickly say that I've been taking Micro Daily for about 6 months. I was introduced for someone that I know introduced to the Micro Daily because I have actually been in hospice for 3 years.
Wow.
And this is what hospice looked like. Because when she introduced me to the Micro Daily, I had gotten COVID. I took a family vacation to Disney and I came back with COVID. And literally they just pretty much says, get your affairs in order. So I started taking the Micro Dailies, and it's like I have energy. I also have leukemia. And I just don't feel like I'm dying. Right now I'm taking the probiotic, and I'm taking the Micro Daily EMS. And I'm only taking 3 in the morning and 3 in the evening because, the oncology team, they're like, don't stop taking your medicine. So right now I'm only taking the 3 in the morning and 3 in the evening. And I can say that I'm still here today because of the micro daily. Because I have more energy and I do more stuff. And my friend Angelique Greer, she could tell you that she was like, man, you look better. Because I was literally walking death. And I have, I've had a stroke before too. So I wanted to stay on the topic. But I went February to the hospital for a sleep study to see what's going on with my brain because I was thinking, I don't need the medicine, blah, blah. But then they found something that I didn't know I had. They found an aneurysm. So when I went back for the CAT scan, they was like, it's not new, it's not doing anything, it's just stuck there. So we're not going to do anything because it just, whatever was going on or the size of it, because I don't know a lot about how the brain works, but I noticed that the only thing that I have is a headache, but it's not even like a bad headache. And so they were like, my doctor, who actually takes microdailies himself, it's like, no, stay on this microdaily. So I stayed. I'm still on it. Like I said, I take 6 a day, and so I do believe that the microdailies is working, and I believe it saved. It actually saved my life because, like I said, I've been in hospice for 3 years, and they're like, it's only God, like I'm a miracle.
Mm.
So I can just testify to my own what I got diagnosed as having a tumor on my right breast. And so they did 2 scans and they don't see it now. So I was like, it's those microdailies. They think I'm crazy. So,
Oh,
but they did 1 scan and said, it's gone. Just last month it was there and now it's gone. What have you been doing? I said, nothing. Just microdaily EMF. I take 6 a day, but it disappeared. So that was when I was thinking about, oh, it's not doing anything. I actually have seen it work in the past 6 months since I've been on it. Because when I had COVID, I developed pneumonia, and I can see it. Like I said, I'm so excited to be a part of the Microdaily family myself because that's all people's like, wow, you look different. You look better. I say, I don't get paid for it, but I'm gonna tell you what's making it. And I've always said, Microdaily, get you some. Here's how you order it, because it saved me.
wow, Shayna, incredible testimony. And we've got Virginia mentioning that in the chat. And Virginia has an incredible testimony. So she knows one because she is one. And thank you, Shayna, for coming on and opening your heart and your mouth for the rest of us. It's amazing what you've just shared with us, and that's just on the maintenance dose. My goodness, wow.
Thank you.
You bet. Thank you. All right. So Stephanie Picard. Stephanie, you've got your hand up. You'll need to open up your microphone if you'd like to, and your camera as well. But what, a question or a comment tonight, Stephanie?
Hi, I didn't want to, I just wanted to make a comment. I'm just kind of resting the day, but I just wanted to say on this topic, it really does. I had a mini stroke maybe about a year ago, but it does affect the brain and how you recall things. And I do like what you brought out, Jeff, about how the microdaily goes in, and when you want it to work on one thing, it's going to work on what is needed. And I've been on the microdaily now for about 5 months also. But my dosage, I take about 6 of the microdaily EMF in the morning and in the afternoon, and I take that amount 3 times a day. And then I've added the brain boost And I just added the eye boost and I take the CBD. And because I do deal with also mental health issues, which I have found that CBD really does help with the mental health. But I'm so glad you guys brought this topic here, because I tell you, even a mini stroke can change how you recall things. My hands, I can tell, are different, even in the way a stroke can really change your body, and just how the connection from the brain, that connection. So I'm really glad this topic came up, but I appreciate the micro daily and being introduced to it too. And I'm going to be trying to stay on this for as long as I possibly can.
Wow. Well, thank you, Stephanie, for adding tonight to what we've been discussing, what we've been talking about. Amazing experience again, and just 5 months into it, being able to recognize what you have, the changes in your own body. Understand all we're doing is we're correcting a micronutrient deficiency, and who'd have thought that that could make such a difference? So we got Ed and Joyce have a question, and I'm going to go ahead. You've got your camera on, and I'm going to pull you up alongside here. Me, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I can't raise my hand on this one for some reason. And I'm sorry about my appearance. We've been working on steel all day. But anyway, I wanted to mention, you're talking about brain. And I have a friend that had an operation on his brain. It took out part of the hypothalamus, I think hoping that it was a tumor about that size, and they got that out. They put him on some artificial things to try to mimic the body's the way it should work from the hypothalamus. And I think they're hoping that the hypothalamus will eventually take back over and they'll be able to drop their medication down. What I was thinking for him, I didn't know whether you might give me a heads up on it, was he's all swelled up. And so it'd obviously be the EMF, the collagen, the probiotics, and then see how that does. I didn't know whether you had any suggestions on that. And just last night, we had a chemical situation here. We were sleeping up here at 14,000 feet, and it was very faint, but I could smell it, and it started to affect my liver and my breathing and all. So I looked around real quickly for a gas mask, but I didn't have one except one we travel with. Putting that on really helped, but I think I would have had a lot worse reaction without the micro daily. And we're taking the maintenance dose, and I'm getting a lot of good results with masses and things like that that are disappearing. It's great. So anyway, just a lot of things, but I was just wondering about the brain.
Sure.
What you might suggest for my friend, and see. Of course, he's in Bolivia. He's in a uni out in the biggest salt flat in the world at 13,000 feet elevation.
Wow, you guys are clear up there where the oxygen is thin. And,
oh yeah,
it is interesting. You share your own experience about the microdaily and having some exposure to chemicals. I go back to some of the original literature that we used to talk about, just like we don't really talk about the mice in the concussive wave blast study, but we also don't talk about the mustard gas and one of the human studies that was done, and the significance of a chemical exposure. And this was done in association with the U.S. Institute of Chemical Defense. Another one of Dr. Persad's partners, as they created the perfect supplement for our soldiers. And so you definitely have a leg up when it comes to being exposed to chemicals, because this has history that way. Now, as far as your friend is concerned, The one product that you didn't mention would have been the Brain Boost.
Oh,
Anything
yeah, for sure.
anything dealing with the brain, I would highly recommend it. But if we've got swelling, if we've got inflammation going on like that, it's the microdaily EMF at higher than maintenance doses.
Yeah.
Just today, I've been on 2 separate 3-way phone calls with individuals that just weren't getting the amount of response that they were looking for. In fact, this started out somebody who had an issue with their knee, and they kept injuring it. Fell off a ladder, injured it. Tripped and fell and injured it again. And over the last year, there's been a lot of scar tissue build up in that area around the knee, and so it was not getting the right circulation to it because of the scar tissue and the inflammation, the body's ability to try and protect that area because it kept getting injured. And so we suggested a therapeutic dose. And between Monday night and Wednesday afternoon, he was actually able to kneel down on that knee, and he hadn't been able to for almost a year. But it can work
Yeah.
quickly. But it was a therapeutic dose. I mean, he was taking as many as 9 capsules 3 times a day for those 2.5 days. So
Yeah, can I make a couple of points on that? That was
Sure,
really good. Okay, with the chemical, actually in 82, 80, 81, 82, I had chemical hepatitis, and the doctor said, I don't know why you're still alive. Your numbers of your liver is so bad that you really should be dead. But since you're alive, sleep 24 hours a day and you may get well. It took me 2 years. After they found it, took me 2 years for my numbers to stabilize. Last night, I kind of felt like it was the exact same type of chemical. He says, well, if you ever get in it again, you'll know it. But what happened in the morning, obviously I had liver hurts, felt sick, headache. And then when I put my mask on, because there wasn't enough oxygen to keep the mask on to breathe. So I would take 5 or 6 quick breaths, take it off, then take 5 or 6 quick breaths. So what happened at the end, in the morning, I had no residual effects, which normally when I go on a chemical exposure like that, I'll have it for a week or 2. And so the micro daily, I'm sure it helped to recover, and obviously during the trauma. But that was, and the good on the Brain Boost for my buddy. He was super swelled, so I think it's probably the combination of medicines. But I was wondering about markers, what we could test for to see, and I just said, well, obviously if the swelling starts down, that would be good, but there's got to be something that the doctor can see and say, well, okay, we're going to drop some of that artificial stuff down on you because now you're producing. So I think it will become evident to them whichever way it goes. And the other incident, Joyce had messed up her 2 tendons up to the kneecap, and the doctor said you got to rest 6 weeks. Well, she's been taking the micro daily on the standard dose, 3 in the morning, 3 in the evening, and two probiotics, and the collagen daily, and that she was able to kneel down today and mark some boards and things. She was actually able to climb around like a monkey yesterday, which was her goal, and she hasn't even hit 6 weeks yet. So
wow.
And she is definitely sure that micro daily's been doing it. So that's really good. Thanks for the counsel on the brain.
You bet. And great testimony. Thank you, Ed, for coming on, and give our best to Joyce. So,
all right.
Okay, everybody, you guys, any last minute questions before we close it out tonight? Anyone else? This has been a pleasure of mine to be hosting for Jonathan. We've had quite an evening as we've discussed these different. Boy, we've been all over the map. I mean, between knees and livers and and brains. Sister Belinda, just
How
go
you doing? Coming in on the tail
tremendous.
end, huh?
Yeah,
Great
well,
eating.
you're right here at the tail end. What do you
Okay.
for us?
Yes. I wanted to know. I have a friend that does dialysis, and I know like the last this week and last week, he's had to do an extra day. Now he's not on the micro daily. I'll be giving him from time to time, giving him some micro daily. I'm trying to push him to the point of getting on it himself. Um, and I forgot need to get information about the Greg and his brother-in-law
Yes.
to give to him also. So hopefully he'll be able to get off of dialysis sometime soon.
Do you know how long he's been on dialysis?
Yes. I think he's been on dialysis like for a year now.
Okay. That's a little concerning that he's having to go for an extra one. So it's his body is really needing that nutritional support. If there's any way that you could impress upon him the importance of the micro daily, just to assist his body in correcting those micronutrient deficiencies. We've had individuals that have been on dialysis much longer than he has, that are going the other way. They're going back to where they're not needing as many treatments, and they're starting to urinate on their own again. And it's just such a joy for these individuals. It's not an overnight fix, and we're not here to diagnose, treat, cure, or heal anybody. Just correcting micronutrient deficiencies. But yeah, try and just with as much passion as you can, say you know people that are benefiting. And we could certainly set up a time when they could watch the testimonials that we have. There's been numerous individuals. So
Okay. Thank you so much.
absolutely. Great to have you here. And yes, right here, it wouldn't be an evening without having Dolores as part of the Lovat family. What's your question or your comment, Dolores? Just go ahead and pull you up on the screen here with me. You're looking great.
Well, I thank you, dear.
You can eat in front of us a little bit here too. That's all right. Go ahead. Yeah. I snuck you on here too fast. What was your comment or question?
Well, my question is, I sent you a text last night. Did you get it?
I think I did. It's been a crazy day. Everybody's wanting me to cover for him today. I had to do a lunch and learn today. I'm doing Jonathan's call. Robin's having me do the entire call myself then last night. So anyway, I will. Let me go to it, Dolores. Need some good testimonies on persons dealing with dialysis treatment or have been able to avoid dialysis. Have someone doing home dialysis 8 hours daily, 7 days a week. Wow. Oh my goodness. So the one that I could put my fingers on would be Greg talking about his brother-in-law. And he's at that point where he was able to avoid dialysis. We've got another Greg that is in the Florida area, part of Coraline's group, and he's got a good friend of his that he started on the micro daily, and he's starting to urinate again on his own, and he's improved so much that he's going in with the other friends that are in dialysis, every 3 times a week. And he's kind of showing off to them and doing things like he shouldn't, like drinking a soda pop in front of him because he's doing better. He's just kind of doing a neener. But yeah, you really don't want to drink soda pop at all. But
whether you got kidney problems or not.
Exactly. So I don't have any other videos that I could share other than Greg talking about his brother-in-law, but just from a standpoint of I know individuals and I've talked to them. It's just we haven't captured it on video.
Right, okay. So
So
whatever you can provide me with, I'll share it with her.
yeah, and it's definitely a process, and you're going to want to do the in addition to the microdaily EMF, definitely the probiotic. There's just something about that gut connection that has to do with just our body's overall ability to just utilize the immune system properly. And the immune system is certainly a big part of that.
Hello.
Okay.
I was trying to raise my hand. Your system is not allowing me to do that.
Okay. Hey, Peggy.
So, hi, I'm Suzanne. I'm Peggy's sister, but
okay.
I have a quick question. It's not, your system is not allowing me to raise my hand, so I didn't want to be disrespectful or anything, but it won't allow me to raise my hand.
I've had a couple of those, so I'm just filling in for Jonathan. He's got it all set up just right. But anyway, go ahead. What was your question?
Quick question. I have a friend that's on high blood pressure medications and everything, and she's really concerned about it. The doctor has on several medications and everything, so she wants to know what would be good or how many or what product you guys recommend that she take for her high blood pressure issues that she's having, please.
Yeah. Once again, we're not here to diagnose, treat, cure, heal, or
Correct.
prevent any disease or injury, but our recommendation would be the microdaily EMF. It is the enhanced version. It's the one that carries the 7 U.S. patents, and the probiotic. We're finding that a combination of those two are the best 1-2 punch for somebody. I would also suggest, instead of doing what the bottle has here, which is a maintenance dose, 3 capsules, 2 to 3 times per day, try 5 capsules to begin with.
5 capsules. And is that 5 capsules once a day or twice a day?
Twice. Everything is twice a day, a minimum of twice a day. In fact, I would say if they're willing to lean into it, I would go 5 capsules 3 times a day.
Okay, I'll mention that to her.
It's going to be two bottles for a month, and then the probiotic. That's just it seems to be almost like a walk in the park for us. We've helped so many people that way. But once again, we're just correcting a micronutrient deficiency. We're not suggesting that anybody take this advice as medical information.
Yes, exactly. I did recommend to her, I did inform her that it is a nutritional supplement, and the body, when it receives the nutrients that it needs, basically the body can operate a lot better and function a lot better and heal a lot faster. Okay.
You got it.
Yes. Working in the pharmaceutical industry myself, basically, I didn't want to ever take any pills once I worked in the pharmaceutical industry. And actually, I was like, I was so happy to find out about a lot of nutritional supplements, but of course, they're not FDA approved. That's why you guys can't make any promises or claims or anything like that. So I highly respect that. But the natural products do work better for the body. Basically, they tend to.
They do, and we've got the patents to prove it, and
correct,
and the testimonials to
back it up. And support. Exactly. So good.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Once again, I'm Suzanne here from Louisiana. Thank you so much.
Oh, fantastic. All right. Great to have you part of the Micro Daily family.
Great to be a part.
All right. Okay, everybody. We're going over time here a little bit. I've got to jump on to my next opportunity to educate, and that's what this is all about. We get together as affiliates and preferred customers to learn more about the products, to hear other people's experiences. And tonight we've been talking about brain health. It's been my pleasure to slip in and cover Jonathan Jones's call, because he's been stuck with a lot of rain happening down in the Florida area. So thank you, everybody, for being here, for being part of it. Just lean into life and think about who you could share this with, that it might change their life. So thanks again, everybody. It's been my pleasure. Have a great evening. Open up your microphones, your cameras. Let's say good night to everybody. This is where I say,
everybody. Thank you very much,
Daily
Jeff.
family.
Thank you, Jeff.
Wonderful meeting.
Thank you, Jeff.
I'm mute.
My
Thanks,
pleasure.
everybody, for the testimony.
Thank
you.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Be all
Good
here.
luck.
everyone.
Thank you for
Good
all
night,
the
everybody.
testimony.
Thanks a lot, everyone.
You
Thanks,
bet.
Jack.
Hey,
Thank you. Thank you.
we're going to
everybody.
be on at 8 o'clock tonight. I'm going to be going over the compensation. We'll be talking about the predictable pay plan on the corporate line tonight. So that's the other fun thing I get to do.
7 as well.
Uh,
Oh, they're not
yeah,
gonna be on.
5, 6, 7, and 8. So if you're on the East Coast,
Oh,
it's
5,
8
6,
o'clock
7.
tonight. Yep. 7 if you're Central. For me, it's at 6 o'clock. So
What about any more health information? No more health
All right.
information.
yeah, 291 is the beginning of the Zoom number. In fact, thank you,
just put it in
Belinda.
there.
You put it in there. It's right in there. Yep, you've got it in the chat, so everybody can just go to the chat, and I'll see you in an hour.
All right.